In this video, I'm going to be playing Mario is Missing Done Right, which is a ROM hack for the Super Nintendo, Super Mario World. Yeah, you know what I mean. While giving you a soft commentary and rain sounds to hopefully help you fall asleep fast. Just relax. We're not going to have any rage out moments. We're just going to play one of my favorite ROM hacks of all time. I know that the title is maybe slightly clickbait by saying Mario's missing, but I feel like the done right part just kind of makes the title feel clunky. So I'm probably just going to say while we play Mario is Missing 2 or Mario is Missing ROM hack or something like that. The done right part is fine. It's just a little bit awkward for the title of the video. All right. So just lay back, relax, and before you go to sleep, please like and subscribe. I really would appreciate that because we really are trying to grow this channel, and as you probably know, gaming on YouTube is incredibly hard to actually grow, but it's a passion project, and we're gonna get through it. I've been wanting to do this type of content for a while, and hopefully you get some use out of it. Let me make sure really quick that I am being, there we go, I am being picked up by the OBS, okay. Okay, 1-2, new Koopas on the block. I have beaten this game before. It's actually one of my favorite ROM hacks. I don't know if it's my favorite. It was for a while. It probably still is. Even though I believe New Super Mario World Orbs staying way too long for a YouTube title. That's probably the objective best one. Or the New Super Mario World 2 Around the World. I've heard that one being quoted as the best one, but when I really think about it, it's kind of hard to title a video like that, because of how long the name of the ROM hack is. But we might eventually get to that. I'm not going to take that shortcut though, but that is a shortcut to skip a few levels. And we want to do all the levels that I can figure out how to get to, for obvious reasons. By the way, this is a ROM hack of Mario World, not Mario 3, not Mario All-Stars. Because as you can see, we have the spin jump still. It's just the graphics have been changed to Mario 3 type layout. I really don't hate Mario is Missing, and I may cover the original Mario is Missing at some point. Probably would be a good choice because it's super laid back, and there's you can't even die in that game. But yeah, you can't even die in that game. I might play that at some point just because why not? And maybe it'll be relaxing to hear me read all of that history that may be out of date by now. I'm sure half the information on that game now has been debunked or changed or whatever, Might get some history buffs in here saying, Johnny, that's not how it worked. I'm like, well, what the game from 1993 said, or whenever it came out. I don't know if I'm going to do Mario's Time Machine or not, though, because I hear that one's a lot harder to actually get into and play. It's a little bit, annoying. Not the most fun thing in the world. But I used to like Mario's Missing mainly because I just liked running around the different locations and just seeing the backgrounds and, stuff like that. I just liked, pretending I was running around China or San Francisco or whatever, It is really weird thinking about Mario in the real world, going to real world locations and just running around stomping on Goombas in San Francisco. It's not Goombas. There ain't no Goombas in that game. Koopas. I will say that I really do love the Mario 3 aesthetic, and I've always been a fan of the Mario 3 aesthetic from the I don't know how I kicked through the floor, but sure. I've always loved the Mario 3 All-Stars aesthetic and just look in general over Mario World by far. And one thing I'll say that it might be a little tiny bit controversial is I really don't like the soundtrack on the All-Stars versions. It's got that Super Nintendo font, which is fine, but they're just kind of annoying. They're not nowhere near as good as the original. Like nowhere near it. Like it has this weird sort of sound. Like the instruments sound so kind of gross. Not mistaken, is this game made by Gamma V? I know Gamma V is one of my favorite ROM hack people. Never met him, her, whatever. I don't know what they are, but I just know that they did a lot of ROM hacks and almost all of them were really good. When I used to do a ROM hack channel, I could have used that footage, by the way, for could have used that footage and just retitled it as a Peaceful Pixels thing, but I just didn't feel like it fit the channel. I did that for a couple of videos, and then I felt a little cheap by using archival Let's Play footage and spot welding it as a brand new video kind of thing, even though nobody saw the original. And nobody will probably see the new one either, but you know, because of the algorithm. But it's like I don't know, it just didn't have the same vibe. And a lot of it were like, that was back in the day where I would swear in videos, and there'll be a lot of censorship and a lot of moments that are not, the commentary was wrong is what I'm just saying. You know, you can spot weld it on there, but it's not going to be a proper Peaceful Pixels video where I talk really soft with all that. Hey Luigi, take whatever you find here. I'm sure it'll help you save Mario. What do you got? Nothing? Okay. So he gave me a nothing. That's fine. Shroom Top Scamper? I will say this is one of the prettier ROM hacks for Mario World, along with the Plumber for All Seasons, which I already covered yesterday, actually. By the way, all these videos are full game playthroughs, so if you want to see these full ROM hacks, they are full games. I don't really post anything that is not a full game unless there's some type of, you know, really bad technical issue that can be forgiven. Like, you know, if I lost the footage, like I lost the footage of the last couple of levels in the last 2 levels of Plumber for All Seasons, but those levels sucked anyway, so, and they weren't fun at all, so I was just like, you know, if people really hate me just for missing 2 levels out of all the other ones, fine. They can just, I guess they'll just have to hate me then, because I hated those levels so bad and was so ready for that game to be over with by the end that I was just like, ugh. I don't know what the point of that. Oh, okay. Now the yellow switch is hit. Honestly, a lot of times I also try to go for 100% or at least all levels. in these games because we want long videos here. Because obviously the longer the better, really. But at the same time, I don't want to just like walk real slow for like 8 hours of this game. I want to actually, if you sit there and, sick in bed watching this and wanting something to relax to, obviously you want a decent video, not just something that's just gonna be just creeping forward for like 8 hours. I literally am barely save stating because of how, I wouldn't say this game is easy, but it just controls really nice. And like, I know that sounds weird because it's a Mario World hack, but some Mario World hacks seem to make the controls stiffer or just not as smooth as this. Like, Plumber for All Seasons was nowhere near this free floaty, easy to control, basically. It was a little stiffer like the original Mario World. This one, I don't know what they did, but it feels like you have a lot more control over Luigi. As in, like, it's just smoother and more, the controls are just a little bit more responsive than your average hack or even the original Mario World. We're on our first castle now in World 1. Well, we are getting some viewers, and I appreciate that, and I hope they are enjoying the videos. A lot of them don't comment, but the channel for a long time was just 0 views every day, or at least seemed that way. And then I just changed all the titles, thumbnails, and started making new content for consistently, big long videos with good thumbnails and titles, and everything A/B tested, and actually put in real effort, and YouTube rewarded that with not a huge amount, but some viewership. Why am I not able to go in this door? Okay, door was kind of off, I guess. Well, Boom Boom, are you gonna do anything? There you go. Am I even hurt? I don't think I'm hurting him. There goes that. Good God, what was that? Someone flying down the road in a white truck with some type of giant white tank on it. I don't know why people fly down this road. It goes to a hard stop. If you fly down the road, you're gonna have to slam on brakes because there's like a couple of concrete pillars and a gate that goes into a cemetery. Yes, evil spooky cemetery. No, but people just fly down this road 100 miles an hour. I'm just like, what is wrong with you? This road does not loop around, and it does not have anywhere you can, make a quick turn or something. This ain't some back road. This is a residential neighborhood. And they just fly down the road, and just like, you just look out I look out the window sometimes, and they just like look like they're going at least like 50 or 60 on a road that's maybe a quarter mile, like they're trying to drag race on my road. Same type of idiots that'll drive past the house blasting their bass and, acting like we really, like, they're so cool, man. I'm so cool for making all that noise and getting the dogs wound up and all that with all that boom, boom, boom. Like, bro, if you do that, nobody thinks you're cool. They just think you're a loser, because you are. Same type of people that'll go to a gas station, leave their stereo on full blast, booming in the parking lot, making all this noise, and then they just go inside and go shopping at the gas station, and they just leave their loud stereo on with the car still running at a gas station where anybody could just, steal their car, I mean, they could steal the car if they wanted. It's because they think it looks cool, man, but no, it's a nuisance. You're not cool, you're annoying. Reminds me of, remember the South Park thing with the bikers? I know that had a nasty joke attached to it, but it is kind of funny. It's the same kind of concept, like where the bikers would show up and they were just so loud, and they thought that they looked so cool because their bikes were so loud, disturbing everybody. And I won't say what the South Park kids called them for obvious reasons if you've seen the episode, but I'll just say they called them losers, and then they got all mad about it, and the ending had some type of weird sort of play on words of like, calling him a loser isn't a slur. It's, because a slur is this, but a loser is that, kind of thing, where they try to soften the blow of the fact that they used the slur multiple times in a video, in an episode. But it's the same concept that, people think loud makes them look cool, whether it's their muffler or, their loud stereo booming and stuff. Like when I was in college, just a quick note. Oh, this is a castle. Okay. I thought the other one was a castle. It must have been just a fort. When I was in college, this is way back in like 2008, I guess. It was a major issue, like where I was at college, because there was a guy that would drive past the college right around lunchtime every day, and he or she, I'm guessing it had to be a he, it's almost always a he, was riding down the road, and his bass was so loud that it sounded like it was thundering in the air. We thought, like, people started thinking it was like a thunderstorm was coming because he would pass by with that loud bass, and you could literally, like, at some point we finally just looked and we saw the car, and it was some busted up hoopty, just not even a good car, just some crappy, probably like a 92 Civic or something that's like, would look like it was beat half to death, and he had his little stereo in there, and trying to look cool, I guess, for all the college people, which it was a community college, so it was mostly just old folks that didn't care, just were disgusted by it. But yeah, like, and the thing was, you could actually like hear like the frame of his car rattling, and I'm just like, he's gonna blast that bass, and he's gonna blow something out of his. He's gonna blow some part out of his car, and it's gonna just break down on the side of the road. It's like the same people that'll like, see people outside and they'll just speed up and show like, how loud they're, and awesome. They're totally like they're totally modded Honda Civic is, as if that makes them awesome, I don't know how he caught me there, but okay. There's Iggy. We're going to 2-1, which is the desert. Stay for desert. Not dessert. Dessert has 2 S's. I believe someone told me a long time ago that the way you can remember desert versus dessert is deserts don't go for a second helping. You know, because with dessert, you might go and get another piece of cake or a second, you know, second piece of something. But a dessert only, you know, you don't eat it at all. So no second helping, basically. So it's DESS for dessert and DES for desert. It's kind of weird. I'm sure there's some for dessert. It's probably some French word that we co-opted. A lot of the fancier food words are almost always from something French. Where we like took something from France and renamed it like something that sounds more appealing to English speakers. Same with Latin. A lot of the language is based on Latin. And a little enemy spamming now, but not too bad. That's one thing I will complain about with ROM hacks is a lot of them will start out so good, and Gamma V has this problem. And I love Gamma V's ROM hacks regardless if this is one or it feels like one. The problem is a lot of ROM hack makers will realize that like later in the ROM hack that, you know, the farther you go in the game, they think you're supposed to make it more and more difficult, which isn't true, you know, because Mario World honestly didn't get more difficult as the stages went on. They just all stayed about the same difficulty, maybe slightly increased in my experience anyway. And same thing with Donkey Kong. Well, Donkey Kong, it did get harder, but instead of relying on level design, they kind of rely on what I call enemy spam, which is they put so many enemies and projectiles and stuff on the screen that it's basically, you know, almost impossible unless you're like super precise to not, you know, take damage. And, that does ruin a lot of ROM hacks. Luckily, a Plumber for All Plumber for All Seasons even fell for it. Like near the very end, it was getting a little ridiculous. But one example that I'm probably still going to cover is called Cola Kingdom Quest, which was very good by Gamma V. But around World 7, it started getting a little insane with how many enemies that would just be there, And it was like, Nintendo would basically focus on level design, like, making the stage harder, by actual design. And then, ROM hack people just sort of have this tendency to just throw as many enemies and stuff as they can at, once. It's fine, but it's just what I would call like an artificial difficulty spike for literally no reason. That's just a failing on the genre itself. I mean, sort of like Kirby. Kirby has issues in pretty much every game. They have the same issue in almost every game, which is later in the game, instead of focusing on better level design, they don't really go with enemy spam, but they go with cheap shots where you'll be in a level and then all of a sudden, like, you'll be going down or up, or even, moving any direction, and all of a sudden the enemy will just show up out of nowhere before you can even react to it and hit you. And it's like a complete, like, a cheap shot, literally. And Kirby's Adventure was terrible about it. Kirby's Dream Land 2 was almost unplayable by the later levels, honestly. And, because of that, like, you were constantly just getting hit, and then there'll be, like, no health power-ups, and it's just like, I like the level to make the game hard. If I want to play a hard game, I want something like Kaizo, where it's while Kaizo seems unfair, it's less a skill thing and a lot more of a puzzle. Like, yeah, it's difficult to pull the thing off, but when you look at it, like, you can basically say, okay, I get what they wanted me to do. It's like you kind of have to figure out how to do the really hard thing, but it's designed in a way where it's not enemy spam. It's basically, this is, walk off the ledge, land on this Goomba, then do like a little jump and, stuff like that, where they basically challenge you with the movement tech and to make you basically do things in a certain way that are very difficult. But at the same time, it's basically a puzzle instead of, just, here's 100 fire flowers all, throwing fireballs at you and you can't dodge none of it. We definitely want to keep that, because I'm pretty sure that the cape is really rare in these ROM hacks. And I lost it right there, but I'll get it right back. I got 2 feathers now with 2 capes. Oops. Do they even bother with the fire sticks on Mario World? I can't remember. I know they were in the first two, well, first three. I don't remember if they ever even used the fire sticks in Mario World. I can't remember. Huh. It's definitely something for me to look into later. I can't remember if they did or didn't. I don't know. I know Goombas were replaced by those tomato looking things, which was really stupid. Giving me lots of capes. I like it. Oops. Oh, come on, Boom Boom. Let's do this. Whoops. There you go. Okay. These Sphinxes are from Mario Land 1, which is a game I've actually already played through on the channel. I played through most of the 2D Mario stuff and Mario 64 really on the channel if you want to check any of that out. I've done pretty much all of it, so if you see like Kirby, I've done a bunch of Kirby, Mario, Donkey Kong, you know, most of the mainline games, some ROM hacks for all of them, improvement patches, handheld versions, ports, remakes, everything really, you know. I might falling for that stupidity right there. You know what I mean? This is kind of like enemy spam. It's just stuff flying at you for the sake of stuff flying at you. I feel like almost all ROM hacks have this feeling of they need to make the game harder than Mario World for some reason. Look at this. See what I mean? They feel like they need to be like way harder than Mario World for some reason. I'm just like, you know that the reason people love Mario World is because it was challenging but not spammy or super difficult. It was kind of a laid back, chill playthrough even back then, you know. Well, I mean, I like Mario World. I've already covered it on here, but honestly, as much as I like Mario World, it's kind of the same way I like Minecraft. It's like I like it if it's modded. If there's a bunch of mods on it, then I like it. But without it, like just vanilla, I just find it really boring. I'm trying to see if I could just sort of cheese it and just get in that door anyway. Nope. Doesn't look like it. But I hope you enjoy these videos. I really do enjoy making them. There, you know, I get a little frustrated usually by the end of the game and kind of am glad that it's finally over, but I do enjoy the overall process and, you know, posting it and, you know, seeing the comments and seeing people actually saying that you helped me fall asleep or you helped me relax, or, gave me some type of nice benefit, basically. You know what I mean? So I think this just looped, didn't it? Sure, this just looped. Yeah. Let's take this back then and see if it'll make us a little bridge down here. It did. Did that repeat as well? No? Oh, no, it didn't. Yeah, I don't enjoy super difficult games like Kaizo's and, all that sort of stuff. And I've tried to, like, some people are like, why do you do Mario? Like, why don't you do Stardew Valley or, something else, something that's more modern? And it's like, because the algorithm won't show that to anybody. Legitimately. Like, seriously, I don't understand why, but like the algorithm, or at least like when I do like Stardew and Oblivion and stuff, nobody wants to watch it. But if I do like old school Mario, at least somebody shows up, it doesn't sit at 0 viewers forever. And it's sort of like you have to give the people what they want, otherwise you're wasting your own time. Because the point of think of it this way, it's not about fame or money, right? It's about helping people. So the whole point of the channel is to help people sleep. Now, if they're not watching the videos because it's Stardew or whatever, modern game, they're not going to watch the video and fall asleep. So you have to give them what they want to watch, Yeah, I mean, I have plenty of ideas for sleepy Stardew content, but it's like, that's not what, I don't know. I know Mr. Beast says the whole thing about, just replace the word algorithm with audience. I don't believe that at all. I think that's BS, 100%. The algorithm does what the algorithm wants. You can give the algorithm exactly, you can give it 2 videos, right? In the same series. Like, one video, then a follow-up to it. That have similar titles, similar thumbnails, similar everything, right? One video, and it doesn't matter which order, will get like, let's say 10,000 views. Then the other one might get like 1,500, maybe 1,000, maybe less. So it's like, if the audience, if the algorithm is just audience, then why is it that the audience wanted the first one, watched all the way through the first one, had high click-through rate, high watch time, and everything was, the way he says it, you see what I mean? It's like, it doesn't hold up to the smell test. It sounds great for a soundbite, but it's just not reality. Because otherwise, like, all of his videos, like, none of his videos will be, flops. And some of them, none of them are flops because they all get millions and millions of views. But I'm saying, like, some videos, like, get way more views than other ones. So if it really is just audience, where's the divide between the audience that wants to see, you know what I mean? It's like you can make 2 videos of the same topic, just one thing and another, and then like the algorithm blesses one and screws the other. And it's like, well, it's not the audience then. Because the audience wanted that thing. They came for that thing, but you didn't show them that thing. You ignored this thing or showed it to the wrong people. And that's an irritation for me. It's like, they say, oh, well, click-through rate is a thumbnail and a title issue. It's like, is it? I mean, is it really in reality? Because I don't control who the YouTube algorithm shows the video to. They could show it to people that don't like Nintendo at all. They could show it to people that hate Mario games and think Mario is like the worst series ever, and they'll never watch a Mario video, and they'll show it to them anyway, versus people that think Mario is like the second coming of Jesus that would love the video. It's like, I feel like the algorithm doesn't know what it wants. And like this, even the engineers are like, we don't know how it works. It's like, it's all AI and stuff. It's like, no, I think you just built something that's so overcomplicated that nobody understands it, and it does whatever it wants, whenever it wants, and there's no real rhyme or reason to why it does what it does. It's complete random, chance on if your thing is shown. Now, sure, title, thumbnail, topic, all that matter, because if you do these things, obviously some topics or some ideas will be more interesting than others to a larger group, but you get what I'm saying? Like, it may be like, it's long if your title, your thumbnail, and your tags and all that stuff is good, objectively good, based on Gemini itself, which is Google's AI, then it's like, how do I put this? Let's say that you took everything, you took an exact copy, like you did like a shot for shot remake of a Mr. Beast video, it might get 500 views. But you're using the same title, same type of thumbnail, same type of all that stuff he does, and then you don't get any views on it. Explain. If it really is just audience, then wouldn't you just do what he does because he's the most, the number one, and everybody would just copy whatever he does to get famous? But there's so many Mr. Beast clones that get basically no views at all. And it's like, if his strategy of follow the audience instead of an algorithm was true, I mean, he's shown to everybody, he's got, like, the thing that people don't get is we can't control who gets shown what. We can tell the YouTube what our video is about or what it is, but that doesn't mean it'll show it to people who are interested in that thing. I get a ton of unrelated crap on my home feed that makes no sense of why are you showing me this? Like beauty tutorials. I'm a dude. Like, why do I care about that? Or all of these, I'm a hot girl, but I'm lonely and I have no friends and I'm so, I'm just a loser at 30, and I'm not married, don't get no kids and all this stuff. And it's like, I'm none of these things. And there's just the idea of like an attractive woman saying, woe is me, my life is so hard, because I'm such a loser, subscribe to my OnlyFans. It's like that's not something I would ever click or watch. So why are you showing me this thing? That's not even, I've never watched one like this ever, even for like 10 seconds. I feel like it's more like a lottery than an actual strategy. And I feel like it's the same kind of thing as the lottery, where people think if I play these exact numbers, these lucky numbers, and these things, this, that, and the other, that you're gonna hit it big, Now, I'm not saying that there is no skill or and it's all pure luck, right? I'm not saying that. Because obviously, Mr. Beast is really good at making video. He's really good at making the Mr. Beast video. He's not good at making the Peaceful Pixels video, I wouldn't think. He's not somebody, he could, sure, maybe, but like his style does not work for this. His is like the opposite of what this show is. And there's room for both of us. But I'm just saying, you can't, there's no secret sauce that makes it like if you use these tags, this topic, this title, this kind of editing, this thumbnail design, blah blah blah, that you'll definitely be a success. It's like, no, it really boils down to, you can do all that, but if the algorithm doesn't show your video to anybody, then you lose. Because that's the problem. You know, like the algorithm will show it to your audience and then it'll give up a lot of times on a video. You know, it could be the greatest video ever made. They'll just give up on it after your audience sees it, you know? Like I've had videos, it's weird. I've had videos where people are like, oh, well, click through rate, you know, retention, blah, blah, blah is, you know, the thing that if you get these numbers, you know, this click through rate and this retention amount and this blah, 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 the algorithm will show it to people. I'm just like, okay. So I do a series on bad cooking videos on my reaction channel. The videos get like an incredible click-through rate, according to Gemini and even Google itself, of like 8% click-through rate, right? And the people watch it 70% from start to finish, which is unheard of because Mr. Beast doesn't even get that. You know, he gets around 50 or 60. And mine's getting 70 on like a 15-minute video. But yet it gets like 300 views and never gets any impressions. And it's a video about cooking. Do you see why I feel like it's like you can make a good video, but your video quality only matters if it's shared with, you know, people. Because you can make like the best movie ever, but if nobody knows it exists, then what do you have? You know, greatest movie ever that nobody saw because nobody told them about it. There was no trailer. There was no promotion for it. You know, nobody like, you know, was like, hey, you know, this movie's awesome. You got to come see it. You know, it's like this thing exists. It's like they don't, like, you see what I mean? It's the chicken and the egg thing. If you have 0 subscribers, how do you, or like low subscribers like I do now, it's like, how do you, well, subscribers don't matter anyway, which I'm not saying you don't matter, but I'm saying the actual feature does not matter at all because I have 181 subs right now, I think. And that hopefully would date this video horribly, where I have like 10,000 eventually. Just for the vanity of it, because the thing is, I have a channel with 10,000 plus subscribers. But this channel gets not as many views, but like on the daily average, it's not far apart on how many views big channel gets versus this one across the entire channel. And the other channel has more, like 4 times more videos. It's like pathetic. And it makes no sense for it to be like that. I don't understand it. Nobody does. If they say they understand it, they're full of crap. Alright, I had to step away for a second, and I've already lost my train of thought of what I was talking about before, so let's just keep going as if that didn't happen. Or that cannonball hit me did not happen. I think I was talking about the algorithm. It doesn't matter. Yeah, but it's sort of like, I'm not saying it's all, this is what I'll say. There is skill involved in making a good YouTube channel. That's absolutely 100% true. But the growth factor and the chance of, I'm trying to figure out a way to say this. Your success is based on luck. Because you have to be lucky for the algorithm to even show you to anybody. Okay? So your luck is what gets you seen, but your skill is what gets people to actually come back and, you know, keep watching. So getting the impressions and the eyes on said product is luck. But the actual skill comes from making a quality product. Sort of like, think about this. Think about like your YouTube channel is like Coca-Cola, not cocaine. So Coca-Cola, one of the biggest soft drink companies in the world, probably the biggest, really. You know, I think they're just as big, if not bigger than Pepsi. We could say either one of them. They make their product, and Coke is good, and I like Coke, and I drink it a lot. Well, Coke Zero. I really enjoy it. And I enjoy Sprite. You know, I like Sprite as well. Well, here's the thing. They make a good product, but if you don't know that Coca-Cola or Sprite exist, because, you know, there's no visibility, like you don't see it on the shelf. Like, imagine if like you had to special order Coke, and you had to have to know that Coke exists, because there's no store that actually sells it in your neighborhood. That's what it's like being a YouTuber. It's like, yeah, you become a loyal Coke drinker because you love Coke. But if you didn't, you know, if Coke wasn't, you know, shown everywhere, like everywhere you go that has a cooler has Coca-Cola in it. It's visible everywhere. You see what I'm saying? That's why Mr. Beast is so big. It's not that it's only because his videos are good. Sure, they're good videos for what they are, but they're, you know, they're not Shakespeare. They're not some grand thing. I mean, they're just basically a game show, you know? And that's good, and people enjoy that. But my point is that if the algorithm never pushed his stuff, he would be just another no-name channel. Period. Seriously. If the algorithm stopped giving him impressions and giving him, you know, pushing his videos to people's home feeds, then he wouldn't get views anymore. Like his subscriber base really doesn't matter, because YouTube does not, for a lot of times, send out notifications to the subscribers. So it's like, when I look at the correlation versus causation on subscriber count really doesn't matter, right? The subscribers do matter, obviously, but like you can have 100,000 subscribers and get like 5,000 views on every video. You know what I'm saying? It makes no sense for that type of, 100K people actively hit the subscribe button, and then they just, you don't get even barely any of it. You get 5% of that on every video. It's like, bro, like, make that make sense. And it boils down to the algorithm stopped sharing their stuff, even with their subscribers. So your hot and cold streaks really come from random chance, but your base audience, like, I think everybody has like a dedicated base audience, just like maybe like the 5% of, like, I would say 5% of your subscribers probably will watch you no matter what you put out, right? Maybe less than 5%. I don't know. There's a certain percent that will watch you no matter what, and that grows over time. But the casual viewers are pure algorithm. Just like if they'll see a video of yours, they may remember that video, but it's like they don't, if they don't seek you out, then the algorithm's, just gonna throttle you basically. And that's what I mean, is like people try to say, oh, it's click-through rate, it's watch time, it's this. Even the people at YouTube try to say that, but I'm just like, bro, some of my most successful videos on the main channel have horrible click-through rates, like 2.8%, and their watch time is like 19% average view duration. But yet you push that to everybody, but the one that got 70% retention, that is basically the same format and the same sort of, topic that would be, interesting to anybody, even more than the other one, you don't show it to anybody. You know what I mean? So it's like, people try to act like they know how to do it, but there really is no The only thing you can do is put out the best videos you can and hope something happens. You can't game the system. It's sort of like the lottery. You know, you can have all your systems and your ideas of, oh, if I do it this way, I'll be more likely to win, but it's just not true. It doesn't work at all. It's sort of like some people try to say, you know, they'll go to a casino or like a internet cafe, right? And they'll be like, oh, the machine's hot. The machine's hot, meaning that the machine is letting them win. You know, this particular machine is letting them win money, but it's not. It's really not. The machine isn't thinking, okay, I like this guy, I'm going to give him more money. It's just you got a streak of luck. But that luck isn't going to keep going forever. Otherwise, you just sit there and become a billionaire. Well, this is going to be annoying. How am I supposed to hit him? Am I supposed to wait till he gets in the air or what? Okay. Door. No, I'm not. No, I will say, if you have really bad content, like objectively boring, poorly edited, bad sounding, just low quality spam clickbait crap, then most likely, if the algorithm shows you to people, you're probably not gonna get many people to stay. You know, you're not gonna get a lot of fans out of that, obviously, because your content's garbage. But just because your content is good doesn't mean it'll be successful. Good and successful are two different things, because there's some videos out there that are just a chick sitting in front of a camera talking about, oh, if you're a loser, watch this. And it's like her talking to her phone for like 15 minutes about, you know, self-improvement and, you know, self-love or whatever. And it's like, okay, that's useful, but it's like, that's not exactly, you know, a masterpiece of editing and sound design and, you know, quality. You know, anybody could sit in front of their camera and say the same thing she did, but they didn't get the same result that she did because the luck. I am getting completely wrecked by this fish. Stupid kissy fish. I can't stand them things. They are annoying. On the kissy fish, because look at him, got the big red lips and he's trying to kiss you. I don't know what I was thinking there, but it didn't work out. Well, here's a simpler way to put what I was saying. Your quality makes people more likely to click and stay watching and to become, you know, fans of you. That's what your quality does, but your reach is luck. That's all I'm saying. Your reach is luck. Your quality is what keeps them coming back. But you can grind out on YouTube for 20 years and never even get to 1,000 subscribers, no matter how good your content is. And it's just, you know, bad luck. You know? What are you going to do? Rather, you're going to keep doing it or you're going to give up. And You know, I've recently had someone come to me in my DMs blowing up about, oh, you know, my channel isn't growing. It's been 5 years and I'm sick of this and blah, blah, blah. I said, well, quit. You know, quit. If you're not happy, quit. Because you ain't going to get no happier just sitting there just grinding it out. It's rather change what you're doing, you know, to improve your content, or pick a different thing that you enjoy doing, because obviously you're doing content you don't enjoy and not getting the results you want. So something has to change here. Whether it's your content or it's the fact that you do this at all. Because you should always, in my opinion, you should always do content. You should do the Stephen King thing that he said. He said, if I could do it for free, if I had to do it for free, if I couldn't do it for money, I would do it for free, but I love doing it for money. Okay, let me get the exact quote. I'm pretty sure the exact quote was, I do it for free if I couldn't do it for money, but I love doing it for money. So you need to find your thing that you would do for free if you couldn't do it for money, because, you know, you're going to have to do it long term for probably very little, if any, money at all, to even get the chance to make money. You know what I'm saying? So you have to pick something you enjoy doing naturally. And there's room for all topics. There's room for, you know, cooking channels and, you know, reaction channels, you know, retro gaming, brand new gaming, you know, gaming news versus let's play. There's room for all of it. But it's just the difficulty of growing really is determined by the category and the type of content you want to do. I don't know if I'm in a loop or not. I think I might be. Maybe. I think I am in a loop. Okay, so there's a P switch somewhere. There it is. A really good way to think of this is sort of like baseball, right? Say you want to be say you love baseball, right? Baseball, whatever, that's your thing. You're a baseball guy, right? Well, most likely you're not going to be playing for the MLB at any point, right? You're not going to be the star pitcher of the Atlanta Braves, probably. But that doesn't mean that it doesn't mean that you can't play for like a college team or a lower league, or, you know, on a lower tier team, you know, but you have to love baseball to do it long enough to be good enough to join the MLB. You know, they didn't just pick up a baseball and just say, oh, now I'm whoever, like, you know, the best pitcher, you know, ever was, you know? They didn't just pick it up and say, I like baseball, now I'm whoever. You know, they grinded it for years, you know, for free, just playing the game that they like. And eventually they got successful because they were good. And someone noticed that they were good. So in anything you do, and this is business in general, you want to do something that you're rather super good at and that you can monetize, which would be like a service or something you just enjoy doing, and you turn it into a monetized hobby, like what I'm doing here. Like, I can talk really soft into a mic and make you fall asleep. You know, that's something I can do. That's a natural talent that I have. and I enjoy doing it. But I also can be really loud and outrageous and funny and, you know, comedy guy. I can do that too, but I just don't enjoy doing that anywhere near as much as I enjoy gaming, because that's something that I've learned is I would not do the reaction channel at all for free if you know, if there was no chance of money. Like, it's not my passion to sit here and watch TLC or, you know, those catfish shows or whatever, and, you know, I just sit there in my free time doing that. But I do play a lot of ROM hacks when I'm off air. So I was like, well, you could take what you do off air and just put it online, and maybe people will enjoy it. That was cheap. That's what I mean by cheap shots, where you have zero chance to prepare yourself for that particular thing. Like, obviously, a lot of these ROM hacks are probably pretty obscure and not going to get a ton of views, but I just enjoy playing these particular hacks, so that's why I'm doing it, because I'm basically doing it for free because I can't do it for money. What is with this setup? There's that same truck again with that same tanker, and there's the ugly gray SUV right behind it, flying right behind it. I don't know what they're doing. So you should follow your passion, not what you think will get you famous. You know, Mr. Beast loves doing his, you know, big, explosive, loud, crazy challenges, and, you know, or seems to, you know, love doing these things because he loves being a YouTuber in general, and that's his passion, is doing that content. Otherwise he wouldn't do it, because, you know, he's so rich he could just retire at any point. So yeah, he could literally quit right now and never work again, and he probably wouldn't be happy like that, but he could. I could do the same thing, but I'm still here. You know, I could go get a job and, you know, do whatever I want outside of this, but I dedicate my time to this because it's something I enjoy doing, is helping people sleep. It's my new passion to try to help people overcome a universal issue, which is insomnia. Because I have really bad sleep issues where I can't sleep. And there's really nothing I can do about it, but hopefully I'm helping you relax as I ramble on while I play these games. Okay, there she is. Well, that was uneventful. Just gonna speed that up a little bit. Look, everyone has their thing that is their go-to, you know? That's the thing, man. Like, everyone has their thing that they're rather good at or they love. You know, you don't have to be great at baseball to love baseball, right? So the idea for YouTube or business really is, what is something that you love doing? What is your favorite thing in the world? So let's say it's just watching TV. You love watching Family Feud. or whatever, you could, it would be a little bit difficult because of copyright, but you could easily make a channel where you watch Family Feud and react to the stupid, comments, the stupid answers, and you make fun of the people for their stupid answers. You could do that easily, and you could make money doing that, I'm sure. And, you could do that with other game shows. But that's what you enjoy. You can monetize it by turning it into a product, a comedic reaction thing, I think that's my problem with the reaction channel that I have now. Is like, I'm good at it, but it's not something I'm passionate about. I don't really care about I don't watch Catfished or any of this stuff in my free time. I never did. It was just, I saw it as just another way to possibly beat the market, beat the algorithm, just doing this sort of content. And it worked for a bit. Doesn't work now for some reason. I don't understand why, but sometimes you just get lucky. But that's why I'm saying you should always, anytime you're in a business that's, heavily based on luck, which is pretty much all business, no matter what it is, there's a lot of luck involved. There's no business out there that doesn't have ups and downs. Even Coca-Cola has, bad months, bad years, bad everything. Sometimes people just, what if everybody got on a health kick and wanted to like dump sugar forever? Like, what is Coke going to do about that? They can't make you drink it. So, but that's the thing. You got to pick. What am I willing to do long term for the next 10 years just to see if it goes somewhere and, have that risk of it never going anywhere. That's the thing. Because there's two main types of, there's a couple different, but this is a big thing I've seen when it comes to content creators. There's people that get trapped by their niche. Like, let's just say, I don't know, Wings of Redemption, I guess, who kind of got typecast into being like the Call of Duty guy. Like, that was his thing for years, right? Before LOLcow Live and all that. And that was his thing, but like you could see over time, he eventually grew to not enjoy that game at all but it was the only thing that got him views. So he was miserable making content because he couldn't do what he wanted. He was just doing what got him the money. So his hobby that he loved before became a job, and it made him miserable. But he can't quit because what is he going to do for money? I mean, he can go get a job, sure. But a lot of these YouTubers get caught in that sunk cost where they feel like they can't get a job or shouldn't because, it's kind of like the gambler. They throw all that money in the casino and they don't want to leave the casino because, then they'd have to accept the L and have to, instead of, it's the type of person that's like, well, I need money and, they have $1,500 and instead of using that $1,500 to buy something and then sell it for a profit, they're like, I'm just going to go to Vegas and put it all on black and double my money. Okay. Now what? You know what I mean? You put it all on black and then it turns up red. You lost everything. Good job. The real gambler knows when to cash out. A smart gambler. But that's the thing. People will chase that loss, man. They will say, oh, well, I was doing great, a year ago doing this content, and it still gets some views. It ain't a lot, but it's something. I'm just going to stick with it because, what else am I going to do? It'll eventually turn around for me. This will eventually work again, and it doesn't. Oops. Didn't work. It flopped. Flopped like a fish. SpongeBob SquarePants. Terror Temple. It's a ghost house. Now you're gonna have times where you hate your job, you hate your business, you hate your career, and you start wondering, was this even worth it, or am I really worth anything? Was this all for nothing? Is this pointless or whatever? You're gonna have those moments. Everybody does. Everybody has that good God, what did I do with my life kind of feelings, but that's just part of the game, brother. That's just part of the game. I see what I've got to do now. Not that hard. On this. Come on. Go. What? Stupid ghost, go away. What am I missing? Missing anything on either side? Doesn't look like it. I need to go through here with it. No? Can I even push this? Whoa. Let's see. Please tell me this level's almost over. Good God. I am well, this is going to be a separate video, obviously, because they're all standalones, but video is going to be working towards a compilation of Fall Asleep While I Play Super Mario ROM hacks. And I got to get about 8 to 12 hours out of that for it to be a decent video. Hopefully, really as long as possible, really. The longest video you can upload on YouTube is 12 hours. And honestly, I wish I could do even longer than that. I wish I could really just post, like, you know, if I want to do let's just say Final Fantasy 7, right? Just like put up an entire video playing through the entire game, 40-hour video, you know, with timestamps, obviously, so people can jump to their favorite parts or jump ahead in the story or whatever. Or just have it as sort of like chapters to, you know, come back to later to sort out or whatever. You know, I would think that would be kind of cool to have like a full, you know, huge video, but obviously, you know, that would be incredibly exploited where people would be like, you know, 500 hours of black screen in HT or 500 hours of rain sound kind of thing. Like, you can do a stream that'll last for ridiculous hours, but like it doesn't, I think it's like every 12 hours. If you go over 12 hours, the VOD doesn't really save the stats, so it doesn't save your watch time and views and stuff. So you have to basically keep your streams under 12 hours at a time. And I got OBS automated to do that for me, where every 11 hours it turns off and then turns back on 5 minutes later to make sure that YouTube archived the VOD and didn't think that it was just a temporary disconnect. It also sends out a notification to everybody that I'm live twice a day. So that is a nice little automated thing that keeps the channel really smoking and rolling 24/7. Even if it's not tons of numbers, it's still, you know, still numbers, still something, still more than zero. Whoops. Here's my that's getting on my nerves. I need to get some type of hat, just to, or a beanie or something that, you know, it doesn't ride up on me. Something to put on my head to make my hair get out of my face. Well, that's one way to do that. Not the correct way to do that, but oh great, the little lotus flowers. I hate those things. They're so annoying. Okay, so a shell can knock out a giant boulder that's rolling at me like Indiana Jones. Okay. Okay. I was going to try to get revenge on these flower things. Okay, I almost lost it there, but it almost got revenge on me. Oh, come on. Come on now. Don't give me none of that. Okay. I don't even remember this level at all. Ah. Bro, these little jets are just straight up trolling me, man. Pantser panic? What is a pantser? Is it that fire thing? The fire pepper dude? I don't know what they call him. Yeah, I guess it's a fire dude. I like that background. That background is beautiful, man. Butthole. Butthole. Always hated those things in Mario 2. The US Mario 2, not the Japan Mario 2. I've done both, by the way. Lost Levels on NES. That was actually less difficult on NES than it was on Super Nintendo. The Lost Levels remake had those kind of bad controls that the NES version didn't. Yeah, the NES versions, in my opinion, always... I didn't know it when I was a kid, but like Super Mario 3, and especially, well, all of them really, all the Mario originals that were, you know, played a lot better and sounded a lot better than All Stars. The one thing All Stars had on them really was the look. You know, even that's debatable really, because I like the original 8-bit look to a lot of those games. Like, I like the way that, you know, they looked. Has a certain vibe, you know. I'm not saying the All-Stars versions were bad, it's just they weren't as good as the originals. They made some choices that made them not as fun. Alright, 4-Dash Castle, Roy Koopa. Oh, killing me with this spot, bro. I'll take the cape anytime I can, even though it's not very useful on most levels. Because they're not, yeah. Ah, must have missed the Switch Palace somewhere. Wait, what? Ah, it's screwing up again. So annoying. Alright, that's World 4 done. Oh, great. Hilltop Hammer Panic. I wonder what that's gonna be. My least favorite thing in the world, Hammer Bros. Well, not in the world, but in the Mario universe. Did they ever put like a Hammer Bros ally in the Paper Mario games? I know they did like the Ghost and Goomba and a few others, and Bowser even in Mario RPG, which we've already covered, by the way. Just another thing. We already did Mario RPG on this channel. 11-hour video, full game. Whoa, I screwed that up. Ah. Bro, that's just not fair, that placement right there. I didn't even know that they stun locked you into place if you jumped. There's just a motion test to see if the thing will record or screw up, or if the game will screw up. I think I am rendering a video right now, so it may be not quite as smooth as we want it to be, will it? Nope, doesn't look like it, but I just want to see if, because it's running fine, but it doesn't look as smooth as, looks just a little bit choppy because of the GPU rendering. All right. All right, let's move on to 5-2. Sumo Slam Forest. I did update my NVIDIA driver, so it may look a little different on the motion. It looks slightly different to me. I'm not sure if it doesn't look bad on the recording at all, but I don't know. I feel like it's just maybe a little bit framey, but it could also be the ROM hack just having a lot of stuff going on. Not terrible. It doesn't show up on the video, but it doesn't look like a full 60 FPS to me. More like maybe 30 or 24, really. That was definitely a thing. By the way, I did look at the opening of the game again right before recording this, and it was, like I was predicting, made by the great Gamma V, who is probably my favorite ROM hack creator. They do that sort of enemy spam stuff later in the game, but I forgive them. Because they usually make such quality stuff that just a little bit of difficulty spike, later in the game really isn't that big of a deal, really. I believe that they also did Cola Kingdom Quest, which was a very good ROM hack, even though it got ridiculously hard by the end. It's kind of crazy how hard that game got near the end. But I mean, there's going to be 7 total worlds. I looked it up earlier through a regular long play. Obviously, this is not a long play. This is real, actual playthrough. And the long play was about 3 hours. So I kind of wish I had that cape back, honestly. Wish I had anything at this point now. Whoops. I do notice that the ROM hacks seem to do pretty decent, a lot better than I was expecting view-wise. Now, it's not obviously not getting huge numbers, but compared to what I was expecting, which is basically nothing, they do seem to do pretty decent. There's definitely an interest for it, for ROM hack playthroughs for the cozy commentary, so it's a thing. And I actually already did this game on an old channel, but it wasn't, just wasn't very cozy commentary wise. It wasn't rage outs or anything, but it just didn't have the same vibe I want for this. Plus the footage got corrupted, unfortunately, and yeah. And there are some ROM hacks out there that are just pure dog crap, and I've run into them, and they were DNFs. Like, one of the worst, I think, was like Dr. Mario World or something, and it was pretty awful. I don't remember why it was awful, but it just was. And then there was like some Hand of Doom, whatever. Like, the one thing I don't like about ROM hacks is some of them get a little bit too happy with the title, where they'll just like, it won't just be like something catchy like A Plumber for All Seasons or Mario is Missing done right, like this. It's always like, not always, but like some of them that are perfectly good hacks have really dumb names, like New Super Mario World 1, the 12 Golden Orbs, Special Edition HD. It's like, that's way too long for a YouTube title. But it's like, how do you look that up? Do you have to read the whole title to your friend? I mean, why couldn't it just be like New Super Mario World 1 or, stuff like that, where it's not a bunch of extra subtitles and additions and like, where it's like a paragraph for a title instead of, the title. I didn't even see the spikes there for some reason. Flippity Flop House? That's definitely a title for a level. What? So there's warp blocks that take us to a different part of the ghost house. Okay, I wasn't expecting that, but sure. Not interested in the coins. Okay. Just waiting on a Walmart Plus order. So this is upside down, kind of like Castlevania. Symphony of the Night. Okay. Very, very interesting mechanic here. This is probably going to be put into the collection video, Fall Asleep While I Play Mario ROM Hacks, but it's going to be a standalone episode as well. And that's what I've been doing lately, is doing individual videos, then making like mixtures, like, you know, best of this, or not like best of, but Fall Asleep While I Play a certain group or category, or, you know, that's very, very something. But like I did with card games, like I was like, fall asleep while I play card games, and it's like a, you know, a bunch of individual videos spliced together into one, you know, big huge video kind of thing, you know. And that's just an idea that I've been mulling around, because I don't know if people won't really want to watch the individual videos, or if they're gonna want to watch big compilations, because it's like some people may be intimidated by a 12-hour video, but at the same time, it's more options basically. Whoops, that did not work. That's alright. Whoops, that didn't work either. I do like the Castlevania Symphony of the Night callback with the upside down castle kind of thing. I like that a lot. Was never a fan of the actual upside down castle thing in Symphony of the Night, but I can kind of see why people like it. As, you know, it's different. It's something else. I don't know if all the other games did that later and copied Symphony of the Night. I know they copied it in a lot of other ways. Let's just start over with this particular level, because I don't know what I'm doing. Ghost House. I think we might be alright. I might be able to get past this. If I can just go here. And this is the exit, actually. Alright, so we didn't have to do the level over. Didn't think about that, but shifty shrooms. A little bit of a stoner kind of thing, but here we go with an auto-scroller. You know how I feel about those if you've seen the channel before. I'm not a fan of auto-scrollers at all, because I feel that they, while back in the day they were to give you a more epic cinematic sort of thing, if you die, you have to just do it all over again, and like at a very slow speed, and I don't like that. So a lot of the level, you're just kind of standing here just like, okay, it's pretty and all, but what next? Not the most fun format in the series. Not terrible, but it's also, you know,
Well, Donkey Kong even had him. I was thinking Donkey Kong Country didn't have it. I mean, it kind of did. All those kart levels. It was just more, whatchamacallit, more creative about it, so it wasn't as obvious that it was an auto-scroller. Item hunt, Egad's hut. Egad. Luigi the Poltergust 3000 is being upgraded. You can take this feather anytime. Well, I didn't get anything from that, but okay. Kind of shocked that the fire on his tail didn't hurt, but all right, I'll take that victory. A little bit of an itch right there. Well, that did not work out in my favor, but thank God for save states. I do like Gamma V ROM hacks a lot. They're always really good. I believe she did, or he. I'm not sure what they are, but because obviously I don't know who they are at all beyond just a name. But Gamma V has made this game. We're getting a lot of slowdown here in game. I don't know what's starting that, but it could just be the emulator itself. Might need to turn on like a speed up or something. It sucks. I just guess I'll take that hit because we are far enough ahead that I want to go back any. That was stupid. Yeah, it's really slow on its own right now. Even glitching up a little bit. I'm going to look at something really quick just to see if we can see. I don't know what that does, but I don't know if that even does anything, but oh, here we go. Put it up to like 250 overclock. I mean, you could go all the way up, but really, this should make it run a lot faster and better, honestly. Yeah, that's definitely better. Basically, I just made like the Super Nintendo's emulated processor go about 2.5 times faster than the real one did, which makes this a lot smoother. And makes it where if you tried to run this on a regular SNES, you probably could, but it would probably be just also slow because it's not really optimized for the original hardware. Usually, most ROM hacks aren't, honestly. They assume you're probably playing on an emulator or RetroArch like I do. And I mean, I don't even consider that piracy because it's not even an official Nintendo game either, so. Also the fact that it's kind of a pain to have to get like a capture card and all that stuff to get the original console just for the bragging rights of saying I recorded this on a console, in case anybody cares. Which they don't. Well, let's be real, they don't care. They're not paying that much attention. Unless you're doing some type of competitive thing like speed runs or whatever, then, you know, console versus emulator actually does matter. But for this type of video, nah, nobody cares. The reason it's different with speed runs is because emulators sometimes run differently and have different load times and different input latencies and other stuff that doesn't make the playing field equal. So, I mean, they get categories where you can play it on the emulator, but most of the people that do like Super Nintendo speedrun stuff are running on original hardware just because that's the standard. That's a little trap there. That's annoying. I really don't like this level at all. Not a fan. We got a boss. I think it's Boom Boom again. That's the end of that stage. F6, mind your manners. Right. Oh. Sergeant Chuck. What did I get hurt on? Oh, a spike. I see it. Still slowing down a little bit, but like I said, like ROM hacks are basically custom coded and sometimes even custom content stuff that, you know, the emulator is trying to be as close to the original hardware as possible. So you're gonna get slowed down unless you do stuff like I did, you know, like making the emulator overclock the original, well, simulate an overclock. You know, making it faster than it ran originally. And, it's probably going to look fine on the video. I mean, I imagine. Nah, I could probably find some AI way to smooth out the frames or something. I'm not sure. I believe I'm using the BSNES 4 on RetroArch, and I am playing with the Logitech F310 controller, which I've used for many years. I've had a couple go bad on me, but it was after a lot of abuse and a lot of neglect, where they may have not even been broken, and I just got rid of them. I don't know why, because I thought they were broken, but apparently they weren't, probably. But I mean, it is the controller really for me. It's like a PlayStation controller mixed with a 360 controller in some ways. Well, I'll take that back. I have used a wired 360 controller in the past. I have used one. So it was always a Logitech F310, which is about 15 bucks on Amazon, but it's a very nice controller. It's wired, but it's super nice. You know, and pretty much every way. I love them. And I've had many over the years, and, you know, I've not broken them. It's just they get lost or, you know, get kind of cruddy and, you know, worn out after a couple of years, you know, well, after 3 or 4 years, you know, but then I just replace them before they actually go bad because I'm lazy. But most of the time, it's just I lose them. And I got dozens of controllers that I've bought and used over the years, and honestly, the F310 is just kind of the controller along with the original 360 controller, the wired one. Don't like the new Xbox Core controllers though, because the D-pad it's quote unquote better, but it's like the way it like pivots and the way the D-pad feels and just like how flat it is on the body of the controller. I just don't like the way it feels for retro games. Might be good with like newer stuff, but it feels just weird compared to like a regular thing. I mean, I got, of course, USB Super Nintendo controllers, and they're fine. And, you know, I think I got one of the original iBuffaloes or whatever that was like a gold standard. I've had that. Actually, I'm looking at it right now. Funny enough, I just looked up at my wall and was like, oh, there it is right there. Like a $20 controller back in the day, but it was like one of the really tough, like OG ironclad, like, you know, just like the original OEM, but USB, so you can use it on your computer. And I've had like, whatchamacallit, have a nice blast. These blow up? Yeah, they do. That's kind of neat. That's kind of neat too. The dudes like, we call them Hammer Bros throwing bullet bills. That's kind of neat. I like that. But yeah, I've used a lot of different controllers over the years, but this is probably F310 is always a good option if you really just want like the no-brainer. I just need a controller for my PC. Get the F310 from Logitech. They're like 15 bucks, maybe $20, brand new. Last you know, probably a long time, a lot longer than I've. If you keep up with it and don't lose it, it'll probably last you 5-10 years, maybe longer. I mean, they're kind of just built like tanks, and they're cheap, and they're wired, and they really just feel normal. That was an oops. That was almost an oops. Okay, that is cool. Having a little big Hammer Bros from Mario 3 throwing I don't want to use the B word. BOMB. You know how YouTube is. A boom device. Let's just say that way. Something that goes boom. A boom ball. Throwing boom balls at you. Alright, so this is Ludwig von Koopa's castle. Once again, this is called Mario's Missing Done Right, if you forgot the title somehow. I'm also just saying it because I want it to be in the transcript that this is Mario is Missing Done Right, a ROM hack made by Gamma V for Super Mario World. This is Super Mario World itself, but the levels have been changed along with graphics and everything else. But at its core, this is Super Mario World for the Super Nintendo. It's basically just like a mod, is one way to put it. Like a ROM hack is basically like a mod or a total conversion or DLC, or I'm not sure how you want to put ROM hacks. Basically, it's just someone took the original game and made their own levels and own, you know, additions to the original. And people take Mario World and modify it to make their own games out of it. That's what a ROM hack is. It's just literally Mario World converted into a new game entirely. I need to turn that off really quick. I forgot that my Discord was going. I apologize for that. That was my Discord, not yours. You don't need to check your phone. It's all right. I forgot to mute that tab on my browser because I do keep a Discord window open because I have people tagging me and texting me basically all day. So I just keep a window or a tab on my browser open pretty much all day. And I forgot to mute that because I always mute it when I'm recording so people don't be like, oh my god, my Discord went off at like 3 a.m. It's like, no, it didn't. No, it didn't. Don't worry. That was not you. That was me. If you can even hear that, because I do actually mute the PC audio, so you probably didn't even hear it actually. Well, I heard it. Alright, so Ludwig von Koopa has a thing that shoots bullet bills. I hurting him? Yeah, I was. That's Ludwig gone. Now we move on to World 6. Which is Sky World, I'm guessing. High above the sky. Love it. You know, I do enjoy these ROM hacks, but sometimes I'm like, as the game goes on, it gets harder and harder and slightly less fun. And eventually I'm kind of like, I'm making a video and it's like, once you get to like hour 4 or 5 of recording this thing, it's like, you're like, all right, well, I'm kind of ready to, you know, finish this game so we can have a video on it, you know? Like you just kind of get a little, you know, ready for it to be over. Sort of like, I mean, it's like you can love a TV show, but like, you know, after you, like, I mean, I guess you could binge watch a season of it all in one sitting and that'll be like 12 hours of TV, but I just ain't that way, man. I like my games to be kind of medium length. I'm not into the type of games that, well, not really, that's a lie. I do like Elder Scrolls and Skyrim, and especially modded Elder Scrolls and Skyrim and total conversions of Fallout New Vegas, so I do love stuff like that, but I'll take it back. I do like long games, but that's more like they're not also not linear, so I can be working on my own projects in the game. They're like Minecraft, you know. You never really get bored with Minecraft usually because, you know, you're always working on some project. Versus, you know, a Mario game where it's just like you just keep playing new levels, you know. Vegetable vaulting. Wonder what that means. By the way, I've already done Mario 3 Mix and a Plumber for All Seasons, along with every mainline 2D Mario game from the NES, Super Nintendo, and Game Boy Advance. So I've pretty much done all of them. I think I've done most of the Game Boy Advance, like the Mario Advance stuff. Don't know if I have. I know I did Mario Advance. That was like the remake of the second Mario game of Mario 2. Not Lost Levels, like Mario 2 for real. Regular Mario 2. And I did that. I know I did Mario 3 remake on GBA, which was really good. It was probably the best version of Mario 3, to be honest, was the GBA Mario Advance, whatever version. I did not play the World remake, or it was a Lost Levels one. I don't think it was, actually. I think it was just 1, 2, 3, skip Lost Levels, and then Yoshi's Island was a different one. But I'm not playing the Yoshi's Island one because Honestly, I hate to be that guy, but I just don't like Yoshi's Island. Yoshi's Island it's a pretty game, but it's not very fun. It has a lot of not fun levels and a lot of not fun boss fights and a lot of not fun mechanics. Honestly, it is not my game. It really should have just been called Yoshi's Story instead of Mario World 2, because that's not what it was. It wasn't even. It should have literally been called Yoshi's Story, just like the one on the N64, which is also not a very fun game either. I played that recently thinking I was going to do that for the channel, but it's like, this game kind of sucks. It's cozy and it's cute, but it's not fun. It's just kind of super linear, super giddy, and like, I feel like I was playing like a preschooler game, and it just wasn't fun for me. Now, I'd probably still play through it anyway, just because it is a cozy game in the Mario series, but I would never play it or buy it or go out of my way to play it, basically. Same thing with Yoshi's Island. I would not go out of my way to play that either. I've played through it more than once, and it's not a bad game, it's just not fun for me. I think it's annoying. The baby screaming is annoying. Some of the level designs are annoying and maze-like. The boss fights are just kind of they're just kind of there. There's a couple of boss fights in the game that are absolutely god-awful, like the Piranha Plant one. That took me forever to figure out how to actually do that stupid egg shot thing where, like, you know, because it always has this things like blocking you under the bridge and all that, and it's just, that's such a headache. But I'm not saying it's a bad game at all. I'm just saying, I like that. The Lakitu got bopped on the head and he's gone. But for now he's gone. He'll be back. Some games just, it looks good and it's not a bad game. It's just not a game I enjoy. I mean, I used to enjoy, but nowadays I just think it's kind of grating and irritating and overrated, and just not a fan. Not something I'd ever revisit myself again after playing through it a couple times for these gaming channels. It's like always by the end of the game, I kind of actually hate the game because it gets so difficult and so stupid with a lot of decisions they made for it. So this is that classic Gamma V enemy spam. Just throw 100 things at you at once, and like every inch of the screen has to have an enemy or something going on. That's doesn't make any sense why that did not. I think that Gamma V also made one that was called Mario World 3 Tatanga's Revenge, which was like based on Mario Land 1's final boss. Maybe Mario Land 2's final boss, Tatanga. It was like an alien dude. I think it was Land 1 that had Tatanga as the final boss, because he was a regular boss in Land 2 and he wasn't in Land 3 at all. Because I've already done them all. I've already done Mario Land 1, 2, 3, Wario Land 1, Mario World, Mario 1, 2, 3, NES and the All-Stars versions, Lost Levels, the original Super Mario Bros. 2 from Japan. I did that one. Did Mario RPG, doing this one, did Mario 3 Mix. I mean, I've done a lot of Mario on this channel. Plus the multiple GBA remakes of the Mario 1 through 3. So I did Mario 1 through 3 on GBA. No, I did Mario 1. No, I did Mario 2, the USA version, you know, the one where you select the character. And, you know, the one with Ward as the final boss instead of Bowser. I did that one. The remake, I did... Okay, so I did Super Mario Bros. 2, the USA version, on NES. Then I did Super Mario Brothers 2, the All-Stars version on Super Nintendo. Then I also did Mario, the remake on Game Boy Advance, GBA. So, yeah, I did all of them. Like, I've played the same game over and over, all the different versions, just because why not? You know? It's just another thing where someone might want to watch the Game Boy Advance version instead of the Super Nintendo version. Maybe they just want to see a different playthrough from me and see how I responded to it. Where did that fireball go that you threw? Okay. Butthole. This spot is just annoying. Dude, listen, it's just boom boom again. Alright, boom boom. It kind of sucks that they never brought Boom Boom back, or if they did, it was, I think they brought him back in like the Wii game, like New Super Mario Brothers Wii, maybe on the DS games that I never played, but I never played any of the I didn't ever play any DS games, except for, I think, a little bit of Heart Gold, Soul Silver. Pokemon, which I've already done Pokemon Red. I've done Red, Yellow, and Fire Red. I just didn't bother with Leaf Green because it's the same game as Fire Red. The only reason I did Yellow as well is because Yellow does have slightly different. It's different enough to warrant its own video because you can get all three starters if you wanted, plus Pikachu being your main starter in that game. And Yellow, I don't remember if people said it was the best or the worst version of Gen 1. I thought it was fine. It's the same game as. It's just kind of crazy how Nintendo is able to basically make the same game over and over. Like, they can just take like a game they made and like a couple years later just remake it on a new platform with better graphics, like, you know, the original Mario 1 through 3, and then remake it into All-Stars, and then, you know, 10 years later put it on the GBA, and then after that put it on like the Nintendo eShop or whatever they call it, you know, put it on like the eShop and the Wii store and like those versions. And you know, like they really, you know, them and Capcom, they know how to take a single game and keep repackaging it and reselling you the same game over and over in a billion different variations. The one that beats it probably is Skyrim, though. Like, I think we've had like a billion different ports and versions and editions and everything of Skyrim at this point, where it could basically run on your toaster. Because you always hear about, like, you know, Bethesda, like, you know, they'd rather remake Skyrim for the 100th time instead of giving you a new game, you know. At this point might actually be pretty good, because the new games that they do put out, like Starfield, I've heard kind of suck. And they're not, you know, it probably wouldn't even be a good Elder Scrolls game. I wasn't a fan of Fallout 4 either. I didn't even bother with 76 because I heard it was so bad on launch, but it might be alright now. But I mean, they shipped a game with no NPCs. Like, they shipped an MMO with no NPCs and no quests. Just like, here's an open world that's just Fallout 4 online and there's literally nothing to do in it. And it's like, okay. Dude, I'm stuck in a loop. Is there no way to get past this? No, apparently not. Kamikaze. What is this? Kremzeek? Kremkaze something? I don't know. This isn't Donkey Kong, so Krem is not a thing in this world. Bro, that's the amount of, that has to be like double the hammers that they usually throw. Maybe not. I mean, just look at that though. How are you supposed to get past that without a hit? That's kind of annoying. I'll be happy when this level is over, because I don't like this level at all. I really don't like Hammer Brothers. They get... Bro, this level is just... This is what I mean by enemy spam. Look how much stuff is going on right now. It's like I'm dodging the blue dude that's running around and 2 Hammer Brothers and the pit right there, and that's just like, it's just, I can't. Okay, I think I got past. There we go. Good enough. Good God. You have to brute force your way through late game Gamma V stuff. It's like they're so good at it until they start doing this crap. But let's just throw a ton of stuff at him and irritate him kind of thing, you know? Terra Beetle Pass. Please tell me this isn't one of those auto-scrollers. It is an auto-scroller. Okay. Is it going to be something where I have to ride these things? I think so. That's even worse. Gamma, I love you. You're so good at this, but please stop making enemy spam like levels at the end of your ROM hacks. Make it fun throughout. The original Mario World did not amp up the difficulty to a ridiculous degree later in the game. It stayed pretty much the same difficulty throughout. Maybe slightly harder in the later levels, but not really. You do have a video that you want to request. Whoops, I'm screwed up right there. Screwed up there too. I can't figure out if those are wrenches or bones. I think there might be both. Bone wrench. I don't think that's the thing. But if you have a video or a game you want me to play through, please tell me in the comments. Tell me anything you want in the comments. Comments do, I don't know if they help the algorithm. I just like seeing that people enjoy the content and are getting, you know, use out of it, whether it's to sleep or to relax or to zone out at work or whatever. Like, I know it says fall asleep while I play, but you don't have to fall asleep. You can use it for whatever you want, but it's just, you know, relax while I play is not as impactful of a format title, you know? so we gotta be a little careful with that. Of course, there'd be something like that right there. All right, Boom Boom, let's do this again. Gonna stay up there and not come off. Okay, that's fine. Move on to 6-7 Nippy Nightfall. Okay. Oh, do not want to lose my. Oh, can I not fly? That's weird. Yeah, that kind of makes it where you really can't fly. Yeah, you can't. That's okay, Gamma. I get it. We want you to play. You want us to not fly through your levels or whatever. Okay, that's fine. It's not flying. It's falling with style. Yeah. See, you can't even get any height. Oh, great. Our favorite thing in the world. This thing, Magic Koopa or whatever his name is, the little Magic Koopa dude, like, shoots little things at us and disappears a lot. Oh, well, I was trying to dodge a little fireball dudes. Off we go to World 7. Oh, knee cracked. 7-1, baby. We on the last world. Okay. Chili Chomp Hills. Oh, that feels a little weird. My knee cracked and it's just like, hey, you like that? You're getting old. That's you getting old, having your knees start popping on you. Good God. I hate Hammer Bros so bad. Like there was no way for me to get... God, dude. What is with this? Oh, don't... Alright. There's so much stuff going on. This is what I mean. They always do this. It's like the last levels are just... You can't avoid getting hit. It's just... They just throw stuff at you, like, just endless, just stuff. Just is flying at you and like, you know, just so... I love the ROM hack. I love this game and I've had so much fun with it in the past, but it's when you get to the later levels where it's just, you can't think or react fast enough to all this crap. Just look. Just look at all this. It's got like 10 enemies all flying at you at once and throwing projectiles and it's just crap going everywhere. It's like you're trying to dodge 100 things at once and you can't. And then you get hit. And like if I didn't have save states, good God almighty, just what would... Alright, we're out of that level. 7-2, Icy Hot Springs. It's cold and then it's hot. Okay, fine, whatever that was. I don't know or care. Just get past this. Get me out of this stupid level. Get me out of this stupid game entirely. I always start out loving Gamma V's ROM hacks and then I end up getting really frustrated near the end because it's just out of nowhere that you have this like vertical spike in difficulty where it's not even fair difficulty. It's just noise and stuff flying at you. And not all ROM hacks do that. There's a lot of ROM hacks out there that do not do that. Homer for All Seasons didn't really do that much. Well, not as bad as this. Nowhere near as bad as this particular one. But then again, I think most ROM hacks are like, people go with like the idea that we need to make this harder than the original. We need to make this a difficult thing, you know, where we just make it harder for really no reason. That's like cheap right there because you can't predict that there's going to be a Koopa right there when you do that jump. You could predict it, but you just don't know. Shiver, burn, shore, whatever that means. Alright, so we got these little fire things that jump around and all that. Jump around. Come on. Okay, I didn't mean to go down that pipe, but sure. Apparently I missed a switch palace somewhere I don't really care enough to go search for it. We're on the literally on the last world, so I'm not worried about it really. And apparently that cape didn't work on those things. Lesson learned there. Magma Mayhem. Whoops. I was close. That was okay. That's kind of cool. To the like a you hear like a kaboom, and then it a bunch of stuff falls out of the sky. Larry Koopa's lava ship. Okay. A lava ship. I don't know if you knew this, but all the Mario bosses, except for maybe Bowser, like, well, all the Koopa kids anyway, are basically named after different rock star, well, musicians in general. Wendy being Wendy O. Williams, who was a sort of rock punk chick from the 80s that was really popular, like, you know, well, I don't know about really popular, but she wasn't like a Joan Jett, but, or a Pat Benatar, but like she was known, you know, especially with like the Kiss crowd, and you know, she was kind of like a Lita Ford type, you know, she was more like the girl that slept with the famous dude and got a, you know, some type of music deal out of it kind of thing. Lita Ford was the same way. You know, she had hooked up with a lot of different rock stars back then. Almost married Tony Iommi from Black Sabbath. They got engaged and ended up breaking up for whatever reason, but you know, and she had ties with Ozzy, of course. I think that was Lita Ford on that "Close My Eyes Forever" song, you know. Castle Wall Chaos. You're getting closer to Bowser's Castle, and the end of Mario is Missing. Done right. The ROM hack for Super Mario World. That I actually do enjoy overall. It does get a little bit outrageous towards the later, you know, levels, but we are basically near the end, almost at the end of this lovely ROM hack. And we will definitely be doing some more Gamma V on the channel. Probably Cola Kingdom Quest is up there. Tonga's Revenge and stuff like that. I might start doing them more as like Fall Asleep While I Play ROM hacks Volume 1 and stuff like that, where you can like have different collections versus trying to, I mean, I'll probably do like standalones as well, but it's sort of like they're just kind of hard to sell to the algorithm because of, like, you know, people search. Well, I don't know about searching for it, but some of these titles are so long and so intricate that it's kind of makes the titles really long to even say what the game is. Versus just say, if I'll say, well, I play Mario ROM hacks, you know. That'd be a lot easier to sell, I imagine. But who knows? Maybe I'm wrong. Also, I can totally be wrong. I didn't think that the blackjack and card game videos would do anything, but one of them got some impressions last night, which was pretty nice. I just gotta remember that my audience is not a Let's Play audience. Well, it is, kind of. It's not really a Let's Play channel. It's a sleep channel that has Let's Play content built for sleep. Okay, that was pure luck that I pulled any of that off. Alright, well, on the last castle, Bowser's Castle, the very end of this playthrough, walkthrough, speed run, Let's Play, whatever you want to call this, for Mario's Missing done right. Which I think is much better than the original Mario's Missing, of course, because the original Mario's Missing is not a game we've played on this channel yet, but it is coming. Mario is Missing, the original on Super Nintendo, and maybe even the NES version are coming. I don't know what that was. He kind of glitched. Oh, sheesh. Oh, come on now. Alright, we're on the final boss. Final boss of Mario's Missing done right, which is obviously Bowser. It's going to be in multiple stages, I think. I have done this game before, and I'm sure it's going to be very... Whoops. That's not the end, by the way. There's another stage to this, I'm pretty sure. Yep. Whoops. Stupid fireball thing, bro. I think that's it. Yep, that's the end. Thank you so much for watching this playthrough of Super Mario World ROM hack. Whatever. Mario's Missing done right, sorry. After traversing 7 treacherous worlds, learning nothing about geography, Luigi has finally rescued his beloved brother. That's nice. And here is the ending of this video, and I hope you come back and see me again, and hopefully you got some sleep. I'll see you next time.